I love when this happens.
It's all good.
This is yeah, I don't know why I've been having black screen issues lately. It's
Hmm.
just weird.
Hello, welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
And I'm JP.
Thank you very much for joining us, JP. It's very much appreciated that you came and talked with us today. So, what is it you do here in VR and in general, and how did you get started?
Well, for me, I'm a VR chat photographer and just content creator in general. I don't do a lot of like video. I just stream occasionally.
Hmm.
But I do mostly I do VR chat photography.
Okay.
Where it started, that's way back in 20 like late 2017, early 2018, in
Oh.
the Uganda Knuckles era.
Oh.
Hate to say it, but
Uganda Knuckles. You must know the way.
I do know that way.
So, what got you into VR in the beginning, then, back in that era?
Well, I was already like into VR like back in like 2017. Earlier than that, I was like into VR when I first heard of like Oculus back in like 2014. And I was a youngster back then. I was like, no money. I want to try this. The closest thing I got was of course VR chat. I began like saw a few videos of like early day I don't know if you remember Hey I'm B.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one example. Another one is Nags. Like just I some like not huge YouTubers, but like decently had YouTubers had a decent viewing, I would say. Just began posting VR chat, and I was like, ooh, I like this. This
Okay.
is funny. My child brand. Ooh, this funny. Let me join.
Fair enough. So once you got into VR, how'd you get into VR photography, streaming, and that whole culture of things? Like, what led you down that path?
So with the photography part at least, I've always like had like a slight interest in photography like IRL,
Hmm.
but I never like really explored it a lot. I would say like VR kind of like opened it for me a
Hmm.
lot more. I would say like yes, it mostly just began like taking photos with me and my friends, just hanging out, funny moments, whatever.
Hmm.
But then I I met this individual. You've actually already talked to him,
Oh.
Yamazakura.
Ah, Yamazakura. Yamazakura's a really nice fellow. Um. Oh, so
Hmm.
so what happened with that?
That- I know I've listened to the just the podcast what you had between you two.
Hmm. Well, thank you.
He has already told the story. He's already told the story. Basically, we met at this one meetup. Then, we basically like bonded right there. Like we were like we are gonna be besties now forever. Like you're my friend now. We're having soft tacos later. It was basically like that's the energy we had. We were like we were just like we clicked. Something
Hmm.
clicked. Um, and like we began talking a little bit, and then both of us like, ooh, photography. We both have like have an interest in photography. Let's just buy VRC and just like begin taking photos.
Okay.
And rest is history, I would say.
All right.
We just
That's
like it just kind of happened.
oh. So just kind of happened with your meeting with them, and what kinds of things do you generally do photography for? Like, what do you find interesting in all of that?
Well, for me, doing photography here in VR is just like number one, tell a story because a picture can tell like 1,000 words easily, more than
Mm.
that. Can fill a whole book. Another thing I like with like photography and VR, I can show people how amazing VR, like what the capabilities are. The capabilities are endless. Well,
Mm.
not really. A computer hardware is the capabilities.
Fair
But
enough.
like, I just want to show people basically. It's just like me wanting to show what I love, what I like, just wanting to share.
Mm.
Basically, I just it's like this urge that I have inside of me. Like you definitely have it too. Like you just have this urge. Like you want to get this out.
Mm. Indeed, I can definitely understand that. So, how you mentioned earlier that VR chat helped you bring photography into real life in your life? How is the merging happened? And I'd love to hear about it.
I would say like my true passion for photography began with, I would say like it totally began here in VR because like but it kind of like merged over. Uh, like it made me like do more photography IRL as well. Like actually appreciate the beauty, for example, nature, or take pictures with my friend, like of my friends' portrait photos. I love taking portrait photos. That's my favorite like, thing to do right now.
Hmm.
Um, I just bought like this new lens that is like really nice at taking portrait photos, like extremely nice.
Oh.
And I still haven't used it to take portrait photos.
Maybe at some
I'm
point
sad.
you'll break it out, and I'm sure it'll be worth every moment of wait.
Hmm.
Hmm. All right.
Definitely.
Hmm. So yeah, tell us about your the beginnings. What was it like back in 2017 during the Knuckles era versus now, and how do you feel about the changes VR chat's made since then?
Oof, the knuckles there. I would say like times were definitely different back then. Like they, I would say like there were no really any. Why did I just get a Windows notification? Sorry, I just got really distracted by the Windows notification. But yeah, the Knuckles era was like way different. No, there was not really any e-boys really. There was no like typical e-girls. There were no like I would say there was like there was first there. Not a lot of like my type of style avatar booth. It was not that wasn't that huge yet.
Hmm.
But I feel like it was since it was a such much smaller community. I would say like it was less toxic. It was like times were almost I would say better, but it kind of is balanced out with the memes, of course,
Hmm.
because not all memes are like you know really nice, or whatever. There
Yeah.
were toxic communities like Forest Crashers and other stuff, but like
Hmm.
the community was much smaller back then, so I would say like it just felt like nicer
Hmm. Okay.
some sort of way.
So, what kinds of things was it to do back then in the 2017 era? Just same as now, just different, well, slightly different, but still the same.
Thing is, I do like what I did back then. Since I didn't have VR, I was just on desktop. I just went on,
Hmm.
memed around, maybe talked to a few individuals. I kind of like I almost treated it a little bit as Omegle. I treat it a little bit kind of the same. You're kind of like talking to strangers. You don't really know them,
Hmm.
and I don't know. Maybe you build it like I kind of treated like that back then. Now I treat it as like villagers going out to a pub or something.
Okay, that's a fair point. VRChat does kind of feel like
Hmm.
going out into like a city or a pub a lot of the time. It's not like you're going
Yeah.
out and it's in itself is still a social media, but still feels like you're going out in the city instead. Like there's a public places you can find the
Hmm.
cool people, the dancers, the people who got really talented in a thing, and then the crazy guy ranting about the end of the world over down the alleyway.
Oof. I've met a lot of those.
Haven't we
Not
all?
IRL. A lot of those here.
Uh, yeah,
I don't go out IRL. I have VR chat.
you know, that's that's all right as long as you go out and enjoy life a little bit, but in moderation. At least that's been always my view of the whole spending a lot of time in VR chat and VR in general with moderation.
Hmm.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it as long as you're healthy, eaten and showered and all that stuff. Usually, all the power to you at that point, and your bills are paid
Hmm.
and all that shit. Yeah.
I don't pay bills because I live with my mom.
Uh,
I can't relate to that.
fair enough. So,
Bro, I'm gonna move. I need to move out soon.
mm, you'll get
I
there.
definitely need to move out soon.
There's no enjoy your ability to save and be with family with little care as you can. Still prepare yourself, but don't go rushing into a thing. Make sure you are enjoy your ability to save and
Oh,
do things
definitely.
now because it's a very you're
Hmm.
still part of a bit of your innocent time, I guess. So there's no, but it's not as horrible and bad as a lot of people may see in being out on your own.
Mm-mm.
Mm. Mm. So where do you plan on going with your photography? Like, what do you want to do with your photography and your online presence here in VRChat? What do you got planned for yourself in the, I guess, near future and far future?
Well, right now in the near future, I'm actually currently beginning. I actually quit music school. Funnily enough, I actually quit music school. Well, I didn't really quit it. I did like finish some classes, but not like the actual music parts of music school. But I began this new school this semester now after summer break. Um, Basically IT and media, and I'm gonna go media, of course.
Mm.
To begin studying photography and videography as well, cinematography.
Mm.
Sorry. And just learning how to use Photoshop a lot more, better, and of course getting context. I'm trying to. I wanna become an actual photographer IRL as well,
Okay.
because just I have this burning passion. Actually, this is like something I like for once.
So, what was that moment for you that kind of made the whole thing click? Like, what was happening at the time that made you develop this burning passion that you have now?
I would say like it kind of was always like lingering a little bit. I kind of wanted to like at least have photography as a hobby of some sort, and or cinematography. I've always like liked it, have an interest for it. Like I've always gotten from like when I was taking pictures for my mom or whatever, like or some family picture. I always got like, oh, you take nice pictures. You actually like you know how to use a camera.
Hmm.
So like I've always like kind of had this like natural talent kind of to take pictures. Now I'm just trying to hone them. But I would say the day like I want to become a photographer. That day, that was actually a day with me and Yama.
Hmm.
We literally just sat and chat like we're chatting like chatting like we're doing right now, and we was like, you know what? Yama just straight up just said like, you know what? I'm gonna go study photography. I'm gonna ask my teacher or whatever like to I want to change majors. I was like, you know what? I'll take the big leap as well.
Hmm. All right.
That's basically he like we kind of like began doing it both at the same time basically. We just sparked each other's flame. I can't speak. Sparked each other's flames.
Okay. That's actually really cool that that happened for you. What kinds of things have you taken photos of here in VRChat, like in your quest to become a photographer?
Well, on most of my photos that I put out, like right now, it's just basically me just going around and exploring. Basically most like portraits of me and a world that is either abstract or like mostly abstract, of course. I mostly because I like things that are abstract.
Hmm.
I'm a very since I'm my favorite band is Nirvana. Just saying out there. And oh, I just grayed out. I'm just gonna still say it. Oh, what the hell? Kurt Cobain was a very abstract artist, and that
Hmm.
kind of like I've always just for some reason just really liked abstract things, and
Hmm.
it kind of just draws me in.
Okay.
That's why I just mostly do abstract stuff at the moment.
Alrighty. So, what are some of your favorite worlds to take pictures in then, with the abstract in mind?
I really of course abstract means like basically it's not really like it's not I would say it's not really tethered to reality really.
Hmm.
Um, so I like finding worlds that either like look really interesting, has nice lighting or whatever, or finding worlds that literally could not exist IRL, like literally not impossible.
Okay.
And the more like I would say more impossible, the better almost. Of course, there are like of course like themes and stuff like that, like not maybe not too bright or whatever, or like actually like just pure degen stuff.
Hmm.
But like there are like art. I just finding art. I usually like go on my menu here and then just go into world and then just click on random and just find random worlds that either have low visits or just I'm just trying to like I'm just out there searching for worlds basically.
Hmm. So, do you have any favorites that you've come across so far then, in terms of worlds?
Whew. I don't know if you've been in this one, but it's called Alpine Alps. It's not really like super abstract, but it's not like it's literally just Alps, and from the Swiss Alps,
Hmm.
but they're still like it's just a really nice world. I need to actually get my world thingy up. My favorites here. I think there's another one that I really like. Where is it? Um, I don't think I've posted that one yet. But there is a world called Textile Mill at Night.
Hmm.
That one is like it's very minimal. I also that's actually another thing I really like, minimal spaces.
Ah, minimal spaces.
It yeah, minimal spaces.
Hmm.
That's one of my favorite things to actually take photos of, even though I haven't taken a lot of those yet. But I just need to find more worlds basically.
Okay. So what do you mean by minimal spaces then?
Um, kind of a space. You know the back rooms.
Yes.
You know the back rooms. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a place, a space that doesn't. It feels like there's something off. There's just something off in that room. Like there's not like it's not like anything like oh shit that isn't right. It's not like super obvious why it feels off. It's like it just feels off for some reason.
Hmm.
That's just my way of explaining it. It just doesn't feel right,
All right.
but it feels right. I like it, but it feels good looking at the picture.
Hmm. Well, I feel like those kinds of worlds is a world I came across that was actually pretty interesting. Hold on, I actually visited it recently. It's a world that is like we actually did a video in it with White Strelitzia and Harley, and it is called Deep Into Your Soul. It's like a really shallow lake with a tree and a stone gateway in the middle that collapses and recollapses, but it rains upwards
Ooh,
into water. So you're in water and it rains upwards into water. And
ooh,
it's a bit
that's interesting.
abstract. Yeah, I found it from there's another VR photographer. I'm gonna get your name right this time, even though I feel like an ass. Neomance. There we go. Neomance. So some of the
Mm,
worlds I visit, I actually started getting their feeds through Twitter, and I think it was a suggestion at first. And now I enjoy a lot of the worlds they suggest and the photos they have. Really good photographer. But so that was a world I found from that individual. I think it may fit
mm.
your minimalist, but feels off. Looks really cool though.
Yeah, I definitely need to drop that person's Twitter or something in my DMs definitely because
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love following photographers. Yeah,
Hmm.
I also have actually a lot of my worlds, not a lot of them, but like a few of my worlds, I do find them on, for example, Twitter. I literally just there's just an account called I think it's called VRC Worlds or whatever.
Hmm.
That one, that person is the who runs that account is really good at finding some actual really nice abstract and just beautiful worlds.
Hmm. There are there are there is a lot of abstract and beautiful worlds in VR. There's like some weird world I've come across that I was me and someone else was world hopping and we found it. And it's like a weird it's a small space. It's not big. And as you go around in the area, the gravity will change. So you'll go through a gateway and be upside down, and then you'll be
Huh.
walking upside down. Then you go through a waterway, and then you're back to being straight on the ground again.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting thing. It's not, you know, that really old abstract painting with the stairways. It
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah. I
it
know that.
acts
Yeah.
the way that looks. Well, you think it would look anyway, but it's not that painting specifically. It's like a dark world.
Mm.
There's a little river and a waterfall thing. There's a little bridge. It's really cool how the whole thing works. And if you there's a comes to a point where if people are in one spot, you can see them from being upside down in another part of the world. Like you can look right at them just by looking up.
Huh.
Hmm.
It's actually oh god, yeah, I've not been to that world before. Not anything as weird as that. Like I've been to like weird worlds,
Hmm.
like just beyond, like literally just weird worlds, cursed, like a little bit. I don't want to talk about it. It's just cursed worlds. That's a lot of things that's in VR chat. Actually that's kind of the thing I love about VR chat is like it's very diverse.
Hmm.
We have the memers, we have the for example your community of furries, we have my community of photographers and content creators. Well, you're technically part of that community as well.
Hmm.
Um, but like it's just very diverse, and that's I would say like that's kind of like the beauty of VR chat or just in metaverse in general. It's just diverse. It's people from all communities all over the world, and that's one thing I stand for. I want something like that to exist. I want a huge metaverse, not meta. Screw meta. I don't
Mm,
know if I can swear here. I want
go
to
ahead.
swear. That's so bad.
Go ahead.
But
Where
fuck
be
meta.
yourself. Why?
Fuck meta, man.
Why
Fuck
fuck
meta.
meta?
It's a of course, Mark Zuckerberg wants to like rule it. He wants to like basically make it a third world. That's just my. He just wants to
Well,
make a third world of a metaverse.
well, rest assured, I think Meta's giving up on wholeheartedly pushing
Yeah.
their metaverse, especially since it seems like their whole Horizon world is tanking really hard. Although I
Yeah.
will,
Horizon Worlds.
I
Ooh.
will give Mark and Zuckerberg and Horizon Worlds some credit that at least he's trying and bringing interests from people who wouldn't normally be here into the metaverse.
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of
I mean,
people,
that's
like for
one thing he's
example,
done. Yeah.
celebrities. There were a lot of celebrities that went into Horizon Worlds for Mark and ran concerts and stuff, which is still really cool in itself. Some big name celebrity comes in and does a concert here. That's one thing I will give Mark. It's bringing eyeballs to here that
Hmm.
would normally see it. So I'd say that's pretty cool in of itself. Now, do I like Horizon Worlds? I'm not a fan. It seems like a Habbo Hotel VR chat to me. The best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like that's one thing I'll say as well. Like Mark, one thing Mark has done well is basically just marketing. Marketing he's
Hmm.
done pretty decently. Like
Hmm.
just getting VR out there to the general public. He probably shares like some like he probably shares some sort of passion like of VR as well, just trying to get it out as we do.
Hmm.
Of course, he has a, like another like he has the business side of him. He just wants to get like lots of people in there and a lot of money. He knows there's a lot of money in VR. But of course, I know deep inside he does want VR. Like that's why he's been like actually like uh
Hmm.
kind of giving up on that and actually like giving more support on for example App Lab. That's
Yeah.
like that's like getting actually community stuff,
Well.
actually adding
Hmm.
community stuff in like
Yeah.
natively,
Yeah.
which I do appreciate him for doing. App Lab is amazing.
Even I think Mark focusing on the tech side of the metaverse and VR chat will help a lot in the bringing forth of some metaverse, whether you like it or not, because the current issue with that VR and the metaverse of bringing people in is it's sort of costly to get in here in the first place. Like if you want to do PC VR and see everything VR has to offer, you have to buy the PC computer, the PC VR, which can range from a Quest from $300 to $500 upwards to a $20,000 VR headset. If you want full body, you get that. Then whatever other gizmos and hoodas you want, like face tracking and all that other stuff. But at least with Mark, what he's doing with Meta, headsets are cheaper. The it's face tracking seems to be coming to the Meta quests in the future, which is really sick because that's a really difficult thing to even put in a headset if you don't have it natively. There are cameras and stuff you can stick in your eyeballs
Yeah.
and a giant
Hmm.
Vive face tracker you can
Yeah, yeah.
strap to the front of you, but at least he's making things easier to afford for people who don't have it, and it will bring people here because I think that's the biggest hurdle
Hmm.
right now, anyway.
I would say like yeah, Mark is definitely doing the hardware side. The thing he just basically didn't understand in the beginning. If a community isn't like open or whatever, like it doesn't have like if it's not like I would say like a democracy. If it's
Mm.
not like everybody like gets to choose, everybody like has an influence. Basically making the entire I would like making the metaverse open source is kind of like that would be the dream. That would make like have one like like the Oasis, making like something like the Oasis open source.
Mm. Well,
Like anyone can go into
yeah.
go into like help and develop the code for the game and or like the metaverse of course. Develop like the metaverse. Everyone can go help. You don't need to like actually have of course people can't have jobs to actually develop on the code or on the software side. And then, for example, like big corporations like Meta or wherever can focus on hardware because that's what they're good at. They're
Hmm.
focusing on getting hardware cheaper. And then, of course, they also do soft. For example, the eye tracking and face tracking. I would say the cameras not really expensive like to put in or whatever, but it's the software that makes it really really expensive to do because there's not a lot of software for eye tracking or face tracking. Like there's a reason why the eye tracker for I forget what it's called, eye
Vive
tracker,
Pro.
like the thing you have on your monitor.
Oh,
No, the eye tracker. There's a reason why that's really expensive
yeah. Wasn't there
because
for
of the
like?
software.
Wasn't there some like? There's a small set. I'm sure someone out there in the internet knows what I'm talking about. But there's like little cameras that probably are very super thin, and you put them on the. You connect them to your headset, and you put them on the inside, right where the lenses are, and then there's a
Hmm.
VRChat community made software for it, so that it will work with your avatar, and it'll be the software for it. I wish I remembered what it was because I went on some video and article deep dive about it. And then me being me and very easily distracted went, ooh, and then went off in a different direction and absolutely forgot. But there
Yeah,
is,
that tends to happen to me as well.
mm, but at least the VR chat, I think, is the closest thing we have to a modern day Oasis, because anyone can get in as with the development of worlds and avatars, as long as you Blender and Unity, free right now for personal use. So you can make
Mm.
worlds. There are people who are doing clubs and events and so much other stuff here that technically is an Oasis. Now, are the people helping out with the software, hardware code, and the security of it? No, but I also think that's probably smart as well, due to the fact of do you really
Of
want
course,
like
like
crashers and hackers and stuff to have that access to that kind of thing? You want them bugging around in people's stuff.
mm.
But for what we got with the tech we have, VRChat is the closest thing to an Oasis we have, and that is
Mm.
stable because there's so many other uh, VR social platforms. The problem is a lot of them aren't entirely as stable as VRChat is. Like for
Yeah.
example, Neos is basically done.
Yeah.
Or as an
Yeah, I
example.
would say Neos is like, yeah, Neos is like it's a good example. Like I would say like that is also like another thing that's very close to actually getting the metaverse. I would say kind of like going the Neos way is I would say for long sight almost. I would say like having those like tools for like people who like you've been to Neos, right? You can just literally just drag and drop into like Neos and just
Mm,
basically drag your FBX and just go into your avatar. Literally, you can just grab your like your computer folder and just drag whatever. You can like put out photos really easily. Show like a cool photo to a friend. If like we had like those like simple tools like in VR chat, like mix those two together. Whew, that's a true oasis. We can
mm,
just easily share without, oh, we have to open up Discord. Let me show you this photo. Like that that's a hassle. Like you
mm.
just literally just grabbing like clicking a button or whatever like in your menu. Windows notification again? What the hell? Like literally just grabbing a photo like off from your computer and just like literally just like here, like just do that. You literally just grab it out.
Mm,
If they manage to mix that, mwah,
mm.
mwah.
Well, maybe one day these things will come because one of the beauties of VR chat is the crowdsourcing of things. There's always someone who
Mm.
will work who's working on something somewhere, and it's one of the great things about VR chat. So many people are building and creating and making things. It's bound to happen eventually. It may not be a VR chat exclusive, but it may be a world. Maybe in some worlds you reach your hand into a box and pull out
Mm.
your thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's another thing I love about VR chat, like the community, like the way the both the devs and of course we love Tupper, best community manager ever. We love Tupper. Tupper is amazing.
Hmm.
Um, no, but like having people like Tupper, like a community manager, and that actually speaks with the community and actually listens.
Hmm.
Meta, I forget his name. Is it like Bosnov or whatever? He does not.
Bosnov. Who's is
Nah,
that?
man.
Who's that? Bosnov.
I think is this COO of the like Reality Labs? I don't remember.
Uh.
He's the guy you often see on like the on both the Facebook account, like on history thingy on Instagram or like
Ah.
on Facebook. That's the guy, the bald guy.
Yeah, it is. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, that's one of the great things I like
Yeah.
about VRChat is you could see the staff here in VRChat somewhere. Like, there's many people who see, like, for
Mm.
example, Tupper out in a rave or a world or something, just hanging out with people. In terms of like games and
Mm.
stuff like that, it's awesome to see like community managers or even staff of whatever game or platform it is using the platform. It's not like they're like backseat building or working on things. It's like I don't know what the community is or what it does, but I'm gonna make decisions anyway. VRChat's not that, and that's what I love about it.
Mm.
Hmm. Indeed.
Of course, there are always controversies to a good story, you know.
Yeah.
EAC.
I actually didn't.
EAC.
I actually didn't mind DAC to be honest with you. I figured EAC
Yes.
was necessary, and I do also understand why they didn't say anything about it, because it would give the modders and the other side they're trying to moderate time to fix the problem. Because if you go, oh, we're going to use
Mm.
EAC, it's going to drop this day, that gives people time to like work on it and find circumventions. Although after some conversations I had with, you can see in the channel, it was circumvented within 24 hours. Sucks,
Mm.
but the modding community, which is also in itself a beautiful thing, is very good at what they do. There
It is
are
very
dark
good for
sides
dark.
that should be scrubbed out,
Mm.
but there are some beautiful things as well. Like when around the first time I started VRChat, there was a mod that helped a blind gentleman play VRChat and move around. It would like read objects and things to him inaudibly as he maneuvered the world, so he could hear you as you spoke. And if you looked at a door, it'd say door or KallMeJP or whatever else he was looking at, so he could move around and still participate. Beautiful mod that was built, and there are people who do things like that. Is that although when EAC was released, I do understand people being really, really mad that those things are obliterated. And with some oversight, they could have done some stuff, but you can only do so much when crashers and stuff is a
Mm.
problem.
Yeah. I was like, I totally agree. Personally, me, no. It was like I didn't really like. Yes, I was using like for example, like having of course, like having a huge ass locker of avatars. Like
Mm.
I had probably over like 500 avatars on one of my clients, like nice clients, of course. I think it was MVRC or whatever.
Mm.
Um, but like I had like a lot of avatars like that. Yeah, bummed me out, but like it's not the world's end. They did like for example increase the avatar limit, like favorite limit. I do wish it was like a little bit higher. I do wish it was a little higher. Because I do like a lot of avatars. But like for other people like who actually had struggles and problems, like literally depended on mods to play the game. Like back then that was probably the worst thing they could have like done. Like just boom, it's basically like getting like a little punch to the gut or something like that.
Mm.
Like
Well,
if they warned us,
mm.
like if they like actually went to the community and asked, should we add EAC or some sort of anti-cheat? Maybe they could have like figured something out a little bit better, like right there and then. Of course, they have been like actually adding some stuff,
Mm.
but I would say like it kind of like puts it like kind of in a perspective that from after EAC, the updates they promised and also that we have gotten more updates in the last year than we've gotten in 5 years
Mm.
that it existed. Like that was like, man, did like you could have maybe like actually gone. That's like one thing that I would say that is
Mm.
kind of controversial, of course, and kind of like they didn't do perfect. Of course, we're not perfect. We're all human.
Mm. Yeah.
We will
Well,
make mistakes.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate a bit. Unfortunately, when incorporating something like EAC or security measures, you can't focus on a niche, and things like people who required on mods within the
Mm.
VRChat community wasn't the large bulk sum. They had to focus on the majority of their players who was having problems at the time and saying, I'm getting crashed, my avatars are being ripped. There are people with bot clients inside Black Cat all the time is having a problem, and they had to, at some point, deal with that. So EAC, although did some harm, unfortunately, they can't. It's hard to make decisions like EAC while trying to cater to so many different groups of people. Unfortunately,
Mm.
no matter what decision they made to deal with those problems, someone's going to have an issue with it. Modders, people with certain
Yeah.
needs that mods helped, and stuff like that. But with EAC came a bit more stability. You can hang out in a Black Hat or a Fur Hub or whatever and not have being blipped out of existence, for an example, every 10 seconds.
Mm.
So there's that.
Like yeah, that part I would say like they could have done like a different route,
Mm.
and like of course in my opinion, well, a lot of people have also agreed like they could have gotten maybe pushed those updates before they actually added EAC, and then like I would say EAC kind of in the middle of pushing these updates, all these updates we've gotten lately. If they pushed it kind of like in the midsection, that would have been better. Adding the quality of life
Mm.
before you like completely kill the quality of life and make a lot of people leave. Because
Mm.
if you kill the quality of life before you even add quality of life, like we already had quality of life, like on the like mod part, we had a lot of like the clients that help people, like both because some people
Mm.
couldn't read or see, some people couldn't literally just couldn't hear, like help them like actually like for example TTS was much easier back then. Well, of course they added like OSC is amazing. We love OSC. TTS, mwah.
Mm.
They made it a lot easier. But like they should have like actually like just pushed the update a little bit
Yeah.
later. They should have spoken to the community. Should have like how like they should have like how do we get like rid of these modders
Mm.
or like crashers and like not modders, but how do we get rid of like all of these like because the modding community amazing. But then we do have the bad ones that should be scrubbed out. Uh, but how do we get rid of those? How do we scrub those out? They should have asked the community, like, then they actually could have gotten a lot of ideas instead of
Mm.
like, boom, fuck you. We no mods for anyone. Or like no quality of life for anyone.
Mm. Well, to be fair, as the saying goes, it takes one rotten apple to spoil the bunch. And it is sad those things
Yeah.
left, but one crasher, one ripper, one problem maker, and sadly it goes. Although, it, from me and my standpoint, it would be nice to see VRChat incorporate some like Bethesda mods. You know how they have that modding store you can go to.
Hmm.
At least that way, Bethesda can take requests to add a mod, and they could hand curate what is allowed. That way, you don't want to have Evil Eye or whatever the other bad mods
Hmm.
are. Instead, if you want upgraded personal mirrors or the mod I was talking about earlier that could help the blind dude see,
Hmm.
hear and see. That way, they can be like, oh yeah, this is fine, that's fine, and then they don't have to worry about mods that piss off their investors. They don't have to worry about that because they know
Hmm.
we allowed it, we chose it, it's allowed, and maybe that is a solution so both sides can have their cake and eat it too. But then again, I'm not staff, so I can't really say, oh, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's only an idea.
The thing is, we kind of like have a like the closest thing we have to like actual like quote unquote mods really is OSC. For
Mm.
example, like having music above your head, or like adding like actual like adding some poop peepity boops. I don't really know what OC is, but like it's like adding some like external stuff into VR basically. It's like an external like program, run like basically
Mm.
connecting an external program to VR chat. That's like kind of the closest thing we got.
Mm.
But like if they actually added like a little like a thing like a like vortex like thing, kind of like you could literally just go into like the menu in VR chat and like ooh like some quality of life stuff, so they don't like it gives them both a little bit like less slack. Of course, it's great having stuff native, but having like I would say more people's like basically treating it as a kind of like an actual like good like open community, and like I'll kind of like get others people's stuff into it as well.
Mm.
Like like I know for example, a few people who probably could make 10 times better like camera modules. We have VRC lens, which is amazing. Like that, the thing you just add it to your avatar. That's all it is.
Mm.
Um, but like having something like having it like native, like literally just like a click and like download like and natively, like
Mm.
having it would be much easier. They have like kind of like I think the way they're going now with for example you've heard of creative economy, right?
Yes, I've heard about that.
Like the way they're pushing that through like right now, I think it's I kind of like it. They're like making content creation kind of like more like less of a hassle kind of
Mm.
easier and actually making it like people like making it like less of an anarchy, I would say.
Yeah.
Like making it more like like more not really toned down, but like make it like so it's less like it's easier to not, for example, get your thing stolen or whatever.
Mm.
Like actually making it like a good platform to actually do content creation and actually make money off.
Mm.
Um, if they, for example, did that like kind of that way, added like a modding thing, so people can actually make money off, for example, mods. It would both make it easier for VR chat to like so they don't have to add all quality of life mods or like quality of life like natively add like actually add them in. It would make it much easier for both them and also make it so we can like actually like how do I explain it? So we can make it this game much better, of course. Make this game like just basically evolve together.
Mm.
I would say evolving together.
I'm sure
If they did that.
they may, because I do know within the creator economy you can code in like boons and perks. Like for example, if you with the people who pay for a certain role will be able to access certain VR chat rooms and be able to code in roles and stuff like that. I'm sure that with that may come something, but I don't know. I'm not in. I can only assume. My guess is probably not anything like that soon. But my guess is what one thing I'm glad about with those updates is how VR chat is letting the community uh, uh, gatekeep itself. To allow like moderation and dealing with problems. They're allowing like through VR chat groups, for example, you can set people with moderation roles and stuff like that, and they could go around the instance. You even see now in like most public worlds, you'll see groups just moderating public instances, which is amazing. It's a solution to the
Mm,
problem.
yeah, I
Because
love
instead
that.
of like waiting for a VR chat staff to come and deal with the problem, it's just, yeah, no, you're gonna go kick, and then more than just whoever the
Mm,
instance owner is.
yeah. Like that's one thing I love about it. Like when they actually added groups. A lot of people like the community found a way to like yeah moderate. It's just that
Hmm.
like like I would say like the community has its ways. That's what like that's the beauty of humanity in general. Community, like the majority finds ways to like exploit something. Not of course in a bad way, but of course in good ways as well.
Hmm.
For example, moderating a VR chat lobby with like having one.
Dead. I do apologize. Please be patient. We'll return in just a few. Thank you very much.
Me is sad.
You was said.
There. Me is sad.
Oh,
I love having computer problems.
well, it's curse of PC fun is computer problems. Maybe one day, all these problems with future standalone VR headsets won't be a thing anymore. And thank you for your patience. What, what were we
Oh
talking
God.
about beforehand?
To be honest, I kind of like forgot exactly what I said. If you bring the topic, I might get the because I forget things a lot. I have short-term memory.
You're not the only one. I forgot to.
My memory
We're
just
talking
poof.
about VR chat mods, wishing VR chat would do something about it, and then we were
Trying to figure like
tell
because
me
I know we
how
already
far
talked like
off I am with
OSD
that.
and
Down in the hoobly, what's it down there? because I'm probably very wrong.
Yippee!
Yippee!
You know what? I think I almost talked that off anyway. I think we were basically done with it.
Mm,
I don't know any topics. Do you have any topics, maybe?
of course. Well, how how has the culture changed for you since you started? Like, how have you noticed how much the culture has changed from how it used to how it is now?
Ooh, ooh, yeah. I would say a lot of people began taking this game a lot more seriously. That's basically in a nutshell. People began taking this game a lot seriously.
Mm,
That's what when the e-boy e-girl phase kind of like started on like basically with VRChat. People began taking it more seriously. People like began dating. People began. It's basically VRChat like kind of grew like kind of became like went from memey, childish, having fun. It's basically messing around like messing around like in Minecraft with friends. Basically, it kind of
mm,
got from a community like that to Valorant is today e-dating, e-couples, people like it's just that's basically what is a lot. I think VRChat today is known for like uh e-couple e-dating, spending way too many hours in it, just basically being a pure degenerate. Basically, like kind of like it's just kind of like has grown not exactly bad necessarily, but like unexpectedly.
okay.
A little bit like I would say that was kind of unexpected for me because back then I wasn't really like on course like I'm not the oldest person on Earth, so like I was of course thinking maybe this is not your like uh is not gonna go this way. It's not people are not gonna begin having the Devil's Tango in VR. Yeah.
Mm. Well, to be fair,
um, I
I am quite old, and I've seen people ERP in RuneScape. For fuck's sake, and I wish I was kidding.
yeah, ERPing is an old term. It's an old term. Yeah,
Mm.
ERPing is an old term.
If humans could fucking it,
I was lucky
they
enough
are
when I
going
played.
to.
Yeah.
That is just the nature of
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah. Like there are some weird degenerates out there,
Mm.
and when something like if something like VRChat explodes, if somebody like, ooh, that seems cool, and then people gets introduced to different communities, then it just grows and grows. And I would say like the ERP or e-girl, e-boy, whatever you can call it, like that's kind of like just also just exploded because of just they're just people, and it was like that. Those were the people who were in Publix, basically.
Mm.
Those were like the people who in Publix with all of the communities. Those are the ones that just kind of like grows, like makes it grow.
Yeah.
And of course, e-girls, e-boys was the like ones that grew. Both because the avatars they were attractive, of course. They like had like an anime style to it that wasn't totally anime,
Mm.
but wasn't too humanoid. Like it wasn't too humanoid either. Like it wasn't like completely human.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah, avatars has like same with Avatar scene. Like it changed a lot.
Mm.
Um, I think in the beginning, a lot of people were probably like they were like it was not like really explored like actually like adding a lot of stuff into like in Unity. It was like yes, it was just adding cool own projects like adding anime characters stuff like that. But then that's one another thing I that has changed a lot. The content creation with Avatar and world creation has changed drastically.
Mm.
You can actually like people can make money off of it now. Of course with the actual like content fuck, I forget the name now. You know what I mean? The VR chat natively adding content stuff like
Creator
through VR
economy.
chat. That is yeah, thank you. Creator economy. Like adding that is gonna be like that, that's gonna make the community thrive even more. Like
Mm.
with content creation with that. That's another thing that has changed a lot. Like way back, you could not get money for like creating an anime like a character like for well maybe you can add like maybe a few bucks like maybe like you do like maybe basically just doing commissions. That was basically the community back then, doing commissions like making maybe an avatar for a friend or someone like, yeah, oh, met you, oh, you have a cool avatar, can you make that? Like, yeah, like just that was basically like it's just like, basically like just old fashioned trading, I would almost call it.
Mm.
Just not really like it wasn't like a full on like store. Like now today you have people can buy people have like uploaded like on stores, like online stores, so that you can buy 3D assets. This one, for example, this is a avatar model, like a model, standard model you can called Lena, that is on Booth. That anyone can like buy and download and do whatever you want. Well, not exactly whatever you want to it. There are actual like terms of service on the things. Of course, following TOS as well on both VRChat and creators TOS
Yeah.
are the limitations to what you can do it. But like you're basically like your limitations are like basically like you basically have no limitations to what you can do. Um, like you're just your creativity is the thing that like that's the limit.
Mm. Well, that is one of the many things that which surprised me in VR chat was like we've now reached a point where avatar and world creators can have terms of service where you can use it in a video or whatever, but give the
Hmm.
proper annotations of which mention it was theirs, or it's free to use, or you can't use it at all. Like that's one thing over time that did surprise me. I've only been around a couple of years, 2020 early. Yeah, about 2020 is when I came in. So I came in like just at the start of the whole e-boy e-girl era. And when I started, I was absolutely
Hmm.
blind to the fact that you could buy models on Booth. The town was like, I want to go explore worlds for avatars. Yay! And then,
Yeah, that was how basically I did it in innovating. So that was
mm,
like back in 2017 or 2018. You just went around, people just literally used their free time, didn't get paid at all. Just created like avatar worlds. Like for example, I think is it called Big Al's Corridor? I don't remember. It's like that's a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
classic
yeah,
one.
yeah. I've been there. And one of the first avatars I got was there. It
It's
was
a
an Ed,
classic
Ed, and
one.
Eddie avatar. One of like the very first avatars I changed into.
Yeah.
Mm, I think,
Yeah, I began searching into like anime, like for example, like
mm.
Dragon Ball. That was like my thing, just Dragon Ball anime. I do not like Naruto. Screw you, Naruto fans. Dragon Ball is so much better. Goku solos Naruto easy. Goku solos everyone. Of course, except Saitama. Saitama best. Saitama strongest.
Let us know down below. Are you Team Naruto or Team Dragon Ball? Let the war begin.
Yeah. Oh god, we have basically started World War III here. Oh god.
I will. I'm okay with it. It'll be great to see people argue over anime. One of my favorite animes I've come across really isn't an anime. It's like a Amerime, I guess you can call it. American animation. Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's actually where my name came from. Lion Turtle.
Oh.
Yeah, one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, I love Avatar. I love Avatar. Yes, same as one of my favorite shows. I've still actually yet to catch up with all of the lore. Like I'm kind of still getting into Avatar. I'm still like stuff like that.
Mm.
But actually, the funny thing is, Dragon Ball is not my favorite anime. That's the funny thing enough. I'm glad it's not my favorite anime because then I would be actually like just no. I would be I would have no taste. I am like like I rate anime like a fine wine. I taste
Mm.
it. I just love it. I love it.
Mm.
And one of the best, I would say, quote unquote, wines or anime I've ever tasted, like at the moment, is Jobless Reincarnation or Mushoku Tensei. It's I just like they just got done with the season two part one,
Mm.
and holy shit, it left me in so many. It was literally just an emotional roller coaster. I got like things got lewd, things got happy, things got like actually like sad, things got like any like it's just holy shit. I can't explain it. You just have to watch it basically.
Mm.
It's truly a piece of art. It's just that's what like that's what an isekai should be. Isekais today are like mostly just bland, have no taste, no personality, like they're just copied. Like Why does a fucking phone isekai anime get a season 2, but No Game No Life does not? Like, what the hell?
Well, in my time, my friend, I have noticed anime it's very likely for a lot of anime to only have a single season. Very likely. You'll get into
Hmm.
it a really amazing story. Fantastic. You'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll feel like one with the main character, and then it got canceled or they moved on to other things. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Downside.
I just yeah, that's one thing I'm just crossing my oh, that was flipping off. Crossing my I can't cross my fingers. I'm crossing my fingers IRL. I'm crossing my fingers that the creator of Motion State actually just gets done with the story and not leave us with a cliffhanger. That's just my one hope because I watched too many like sweet short animes that has just ends us with a cliffhanger and doesn't give us a continuation or like doesn't properly end it.
Hmm.
Um, there's like a lot of those that just there are so many beautiful animes out there that just need an ending. That's why like of
Mm.
course adding a cliffhanger is amazing. It also makes like the community as well. Speaking of community, like the community, like kind of like make them make fanfics. Of
Mm.
course, not all fanfics are. Usually, most
Mm.
of them are pretty smutty. Of
Yeah.
course, some smut is okay. Some smut is okay. It's anime or manga, but yeah, like it's the Japanese culture. Like
Mm.
they are kind of like they have always been kind of like a little bit smutty with their stuff.
Mm. Well, have you ever thought about looking to see if you could read that anime series? Because a lot of the time, those TV shows are based on something written in like the anime and the
Hmm.
book, the mangas and stuff. Reading it versus watching it. You may get the continuation story you want, you just won't be
Hmm.
able to watch it with subtitles or dubbed or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah. Like for example, right now I'm actually currently reading a sports anime called Haikyuu, which is also
Ooh.
like I really like it. It's basically just that's another thing of one of my passions actually, volleyball. I am a huge volleyball nerd. I love
Mm.
volleyball to death as well. I played a lot. I played all the time. I actually played a little bit today. And now my legs are killing me. They're gonna probably kill me the rest of the week. But that doesn't matter because I play volleyball. You know, I did something I liked. But like I'm currently like I'm reading the manga.
Mm.
And I'm definitely seeing some like small stuff that I haven't seen in the anime, like small like stuff that I it kind of like makes it like yes, just yes that
Mm.
I didn't know. Like you just there's like it's not like anything major, of course. Anime that's the point of like kind of like getting an anime adaptation, getting the major stuff. Not really like there's of course some small stuff, some filler, of course, that is added. But most of it is just the major stuff. In the manga, you get all the small like details, like all the story, like
Mm.
of course it depends on who writes it, of course, and actually but most of like the actual good ones, like for example One Piece or like some Dragon Ball, of course, and like Haikyuu, they're well written. They know how to build up a story like properly.
Mm.
There's a reason why Harry Potter is like really thick, and why like the movie just gets the main like the adaptation, the video adaptation just
Mm.
kind of just takes the main point. Read it like getting the original creation is like reading it. Yes,
Mm. Well,
recommend that to everyone.
reading is also good for you. Helps with memory and stuff.
Yeah, I hate reading. I hate reading.
Read more is good
I've
for you.
never, I've never read a book thicker than probably like this. Probably, I've
uh,
probably never read a book thicker than that.
Fair enough. I can't say I haven't. I have. I have a book that is the Lord of the Rings trilogy in one book. Those are a
That's
really
bigger than the Bible. I bet you that's bigger than the Bible. That's bigger than that. That is the Bible. That should be the Bible.
yeah, it's quite a dense read. Although another really dense read was a good one is the H.P. Lovecraft shorts. There's a couple anthologies of his works. He's H.P. Lovecraft is like the considered the modern forefather, one of them, to horror.
Mm.
And it's like Shadow over Innsmouth or Call of Cthulhu. He's the guy that wrote those. If you ever heard of Call of
Oh
Cthulhu,
shit! Is it?
he's the guy who wrote them back in the
Oh
1920s.
shit!
That is a very
Damn.
dense, flowery read. It's like reading Shakespeare. You have to decipher a lot, but it's really, really good. If you ever have the chance, I would suggest reading it. It's amazing. He, yeah, one of my favorites in terms
Yeah,
of
that's
like,
definitely that's a feature plan to do.
mm.
Now I gotta read him school stuff, and I don't even read on school stuff.
Shame
Ooh.
on you. Shame, shame.
All is digital today. Everything is digital today. I literally for this year's semester, I only have one singular book,
Hmm.
and it's math, and I hate math. And that's the weird thing. I shouldn't like for like stereotypical. I stereotypically I'm an Asian. I'm half Asian. I should love math or should be really good at it. Yes, I can do math if I want to. I just don't like it, and I'm not really that good at math. I'm pretty average.
Hmm. Well, it's okay. You're only human. You're not allowed to like follow under every stereotype because society says so. You do whatever you want, man. If it's reading, read. If it's math, do math. If you enjoy anime, do anime. It doesn't matter. As long as you're responsible and you do moderation instead of like, I'm gonna do nothing but anime all the time. Fuck life, fuck showering, fuck work and school. Don't do that.
I think we all wish we could do anime though. We all wish we could do it. We all just read anime, or watch anime. We don't do it.
That's why hentai
Cause
exists.
well, the closest we can but the absolutely closest thing we got to doing anime, like being inside anime, is this virtual reality.
Exactly. Virtual reality is amazing like that. You can, what was a really
Yeah.
cool world back in the day I went to see, which for the Naruto fans, it was the Hidden Leaf Village, and you could explore the whole thing. They had
Hmm.
the entire thing laid out. You can go to Naruto's home where Sasuke lived. You can go to the school, the whole thing. You could go to all of it. Like it was a fully mapped out place. And it was a really cool place to explore. And jump was ridiculously turned up. It was actually kind of fun because you could just jump up and explore as if you were like one of the ninjas zipping about.
Speaking of like worlds, like from like creating like worlds from another world, I would say like from another universe into the here. There's like a you've had to heard of Project Ironclad, right?
Yes, I have heard of Project Ironclad. It is a really phenomenal piece of work.
Yes, and like that's one thing. Like that's another community made like thing. People I don't know. Like I basically know I barely know Unity. Like people who figure out to make stuff from other worlds function like they do in that universe is like it just blows my mind. It just holy shit, humans are amazing at sometimes. Like just we
Mm,
can just create stuff like just like snap, like Thanos snap creation basically. Of course, it's not that easy. Like just snapping. Oh, here it exists.
mm.
We all wish it was that easy. But like
Me.
kind of like
Mm,
we don't really we don't like our hardware like really like limit us a lot.
mm, mm. Maybe one
Like
day when
this like
when
Unity is a horrible game engine.
it is a bit bad, but maybe one day with AI, we won't even need to open up the
Hmm.
Unity or Blender. You just kind of look into the ether and go, "I want a giant rotten pirate ship," and then there it pops into existence. Maybe one day that'll be a thing.
Yes. That will be the end of us. That's gonna be the end of us. Like robots will take over. Oh, speaking of robots, I actually met like literally like I think it was 3 weeks ago. I met Spot the dog. I don't know, I don't know if you heard of that.
I have not. Who is Spot
Uh,
the dog?
so this cool dog, you've probably heard of this little company called the Boston Dynamics.
Yes, I've heard of Boston
It's a little yellow
Dynamics.
dog.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
That.
yellow dog they created. That thing cost $75,000. I mean,
Oh.
Norway, fucking, they of course they can afford
Mm.
it. Norway can afford it.
That's actually pretty cool.
But bringing it to the school.
Mm.
Ooh.
Did you also
Yeah,
know
that was definitely like interesting.
within think
Yeah,
this year, next year, yeah, Tesla will have like AI robots, humanoid robots you could buy as well.
yeah, I saw that. I, I literally just saw it. I didn't read through it, but it was like it seemed interesting.
Mm.
But I'm scared. Like I do like get it's for the future, but I do have this. I've watched too many movies to know where this can go. Of course,
Mm.
if of course we have if we do it correctly and actually like because of course we all know how like that it can end bad.
Mm.
Oh no, iRobot, everything can take all the robots can take over or like whatever. I don't know like
Terminator.
any examples really like just robots taking over. Terminator, for example.
Mm.
Even like I don't know if you've seen the movie Chappie.
I have. I have seen Chappie. It
Yeah,
was a
I
really
kind
good
of like
movie.
yeah. Yeah, that was a really good movie. Oh, I need to rewatch that soon again. But that movie kind of like shows like that's kind of how it can like not really how it like how it's probably gonna happen. We're
Mm.
gonna have a lot of like police bots, AI like not really AI trained, but like I was of course they're probably AI trained, but like they're specifically programmed to do stuff.
Mm.
We are gonna put limitations on them.
Mm.
But of course, if like something like Chappie, like putting a person's consciousness on a computer, making them basically immortal,
Mm.
that is one scary. It's like Mechanicus 40K, like literally machine is immortal.
Mm.
I don't know if you've heard of Mechanicus from
I have
40K,
not.
but
Oh,
machine
I
is
have heard of
immortal.
40K, just not Mechanicus.
Yeah, yeah, Warhammer 40K, but like it's
Uh.
basically like making someone's consciousness immortal is thought is scary. Like if the wrong person got that, oh, that's any of us easily.
Mm. I personally think the likelihood. I'm one of those people that I don't. I try and think a few steps ahead. So with AI, I think what we're doing is a bit ridiculous, and robots too. But
Hmm.
I don't think the doom and gloom is likely to happen. I think a lot of those things is humans putting their own fears out into the ether. I think the likelihood may be
Hmm.
closer to like Star Trek or Star Wars. Either they're
Yeah, I
free
think
their
same as
own
well.
citizens and or they're like purchasable products. That may be one of the likely scenarios for AI and robots, I think, at least for me. Do I think it's going to be a smart idea? I have no idea. Can both say yes and no. I can answer both ways with that.
That's one thing. Like, if there is like some sort of heaven like that exists after death, that we like if we can spectate what happens on Earth after we die, like that would just be the best TV show ever.
Hmm.
It would be better than Star Wars, better than anything written.
It
It
would.
would just be like if there is a like kind of like afterlife, just we can just spectate.
Hmm.
Mm, yes.
That would be a
Or
really fun.
reincarnation.
That too. You know, sometimes I wish I was
Reincarnation would be
born in the
amazing.
future, that which so I can like become some sort of space pilot and explore the universe. But instead, the best we got to explore is either NASA or VR.
Yeah. I mean, we got VR. Like we can play Space Pirate Trainer and shoot some bots around and block.
Hmm.
And,
Though
yeah,
there
it's the
is
closest we can get.
there is No Man's Sky, which is a really good VR
No man,
game.
no, okay, no man, yeah.
E. No Man's Sky
But no,
is an amazing game. It is a bit boring at times, but I enjoy being able to, like fly around in VR and explore planets. I don't spend long there, but like luminescent planets or a planet by a black hole that's like dark and void of light and jagged. Like all of it's pretty dope to see. The weird animals and shit. Mm,
you know what I want in VR now? Deep Rock Galactic.
that would be awesome.
That would be like some. Please, why can't time just go faster and people develop things fast? It's that I shouldn't be sappy about that. I should not be sappy about that.
Well, in time, when you and I are far older, maybe something like that would exist. Or maybe someone will take something like EVE Online and
Definitely.
make a VR mod for it so you can play the official space simulator to real time in
Yes.
VR. That would be pretty awesome too.
Yes, that would be. Yes, I want
Downside
EVE
is
Online to be VR now.
downside about that idea is if you want to go do things, you'll hop in VR just to sit and watch space go by super slowly because it's like a not real time
Yeah.
distance, but it's as close as it can get without being super boring. Okay, time to hop Eve Online and go to mine an asteroid. It's going to be a 2 month venture. What are you going to do for 2 months in a ship in VR by yourself?
I mean, you can do a lot of stuff. Like you could create like cool stories. For example, what's it called again? Star Wars. Like Star Wars.
Mm,
Like you can just have fun. Like for example, have fun with your friends. Like kind of like
yeah.
uh, just having fun basically. Just doing stuff and then you get there. Then you have an adventure over there in that planet
Mm,
or wherever you're going. And then you. It's kind of like how we explored the Earth before we even know like what really Earth was. Like
mm.
pirate, like being like that's one thing. One Piece, pirate, like just pirates. I love pirates.
Yeah.
Arg.
Arg, matey.
Just just the thought of being free with friends or whatever. Of
Mm.
course, vampires plunder. I mean, we Vikings weren't much better in Norway here. We Vikings we plundered a lot. We just fuck you. We're gonna take your shit, and we're gonna be mighty and strong as well.
Yeah. Well, every race of people had their terrors and their horrors. It's just
Hmm.
back then was a very different time than now. It's not like you could just like take
Yeah.
today's thoughts and go, "Oh, I'm gonna die." I
Oh.
almost died. I froze. It's not like you could
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Nope.
today's
You're back.
morals.
I think you're back.
I think I'm back too. It's like you take today's morals and slap it on the days of yesteryear. Very different time. Like for example, back in the Viking days and
Hmm.
the days of like pilgrims and stuff, if you got a cut, you're dead. If you went outside and
Yeah.
ventured, if you got stabbed or robbed or whatever, that was it. Dunzo. Most people didn't live long. It was violent. There was people trying to spread out. Just how things were. But today it's very different. Although
Hmm.
not at the same time, you still have the similar problems going about.
Yeah. We have a lot of similar problems. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, ooh. That's the thing. Another thing I want to like kind of talk a little bit about. People bringing like the past into the present without the problems. I love it. Like, for example, here in Norway, like we
Hmm.
can go into the west and find a lot of like Viking villages that you can kind of like quote unquote role play. Well, not quote unquote, literally just role play as Vikings.
Hmm.
Like I I adore it. I love it. I
Hmm.
just that's why I love like role playing in general. I love it. I'm not really great at it. I suck at it, but like role playing, I think is an amazing community. That's a lot of actually VR role playing thrives here.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing here. Of course, there
Hmm.
are some role playing like of course there's always bad stuff, but the good side is amazing.
Hmm.
I freaking love it.
Mm. Yeah, VR's full of it, and it's great to see. Like, there's a bar in VR chat where people like role play as a bartender, and you can go in a public instance, and the group will just have one of their staff members in the public instance handing out drinks, and the rest of the instance will move on as normal. It is a really cool thing, like those little role play groups like that. It's like, it may not seem like much at the
Hmm.
time, but the atmosphere of that world, like just having a person there pretending to be a bartender, craziest thing ever, but also really
Hmm.
cool.
Another like for example like small communities like like Lolly LPD Lolly Police Department like
Mm,
it's like anyone can do it like that's like it's the way people, for example, like in VR shows, like for example, role playing, the way that makes it thrive is, for example, like communities like LPD makes it easier for people who haven't done like are interested in role play and haven't done a lot of role play in like in general. Because it's, for example, LPD is very simple. You just go around as lollies and trying to quote unquote moderate like people, like just basically just going around as a policeman.
Mm.
Like it's simple and it kind of like and a lot of people like just get into role playing that way, like going into like easy communities that get huge, kind of like that's how kind of like it's hard to explain. It's just ah, I just love the role playing community. Like it's just happy noises, happy JP noises.
Well, as long as VR chat in some variation of exists, there will be role playing. In any variation, even in
Yes.
regular video games like World of Warcraft, you saw people role play all the time. It's one of the great things about the
Mm.
internet. It brings people with like minds together to do what they enjoy.
The internet is amazing, also really bad, but it's mostly amazing.
Hmm. It is really amazing.
The internet has gotten better over the years, definitely. If you compare like the internet from the 90s when it just began, oh, that was a mess back then. That was
Hmm.
like VR chat, like I would say like VR chat before EAC 10 times, 1,000 times worse. That like it was just bad.
I remember. I remember the shot content and the horrible things with horses and jars and hammers. Oh my.
Oh, oh, oh,
Horses and jars and
hand,
hammers.
not
Oh my.
Mr.
Horses
Hand.
and jars and hammers. Oh my.
No, no, not Mr. Hands. Not Mr. Hands. Now you're bringing me into Schlatt. Oh my god, I love Schlatt.
Hmm.
He's a very funny guy. Big guy is a very funny guy.
Hmm. I've seen some of his
He's a
stuff.
big guy.
I've seen
He's,
some of his stuff, but not a whole lot. I don't watch a whole lot of streamers all the time. It's like I'll cut into some of my friends, and then a lot of streamers like Schlats and stuff will pop into my feed. Like when I
mm,
have like I'll be on a break at work and just shifting through YouTube Shorts, and Schlatt shows up a lot. Funny dude.
that's how I actually mostly get my content as well. That's mostly how I get my. I can't like, of course, I do try to support my friends and whatever as like if there is a special stream that's going on, of course I will watch it. But I don't really like really watch streamers at all. Maybe I have like some popular streamer that I like just to gather some points, just for fun.
Hmm.
And like like it just I don't really watch streamers. I get all of my like oh god, I got a hiccup. Like most of like my info from streamers and stuff like that from just shorts or like actual like I to be honest I hate short content, like short form content. I don't like it really.
Hmm.
I think it's a great way to like actually like spark attention, like attention to some people, like, but it also like is kind of bad. Like we kind of depend too much on it. I feel like
Hmm.
lately.
Yep. Well, I'm sure as you could tell by the style of content, the kind of content I enjoy, long form, sat down,
Long
imp-
form.
Yeah, I watch a lot of long
Yeah.
form. Like in terms like it's not like streamer content, but like if I'm working or doing something, I like listening to a podcast. I don't have to understand anything that's going on, but like I enjoy that stuff
Hmm.
because it's like noise in the background and stuff to do and listen to, and sometimes I learn things. Coolest thing ever. And now to talk to
Hmm.
people such as you, and also learn more cool things.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And podcasts, ooh, that's one of the beautiful invention. Just literally just for people for it's not necessarily like for at least for me, for example, I have ADHD and I can't block out noises and like in the background.
Hmm.
When I go outside, I'm overwhelmed with noises.
Hmm.
Or when I try to work, I still can't hear like a lot of the background noises. Just having like for example something to focus kind of not really focus on, but like having something in the background like that is not like super loud or obnoxious.
Hmm.
Just having listened to someone to talk, for example, uh, tapping into the Joe Rogan just for fun or whatever, or tapping into something like this, like smaller podcast. For example, one pod like well, two podcasts I want to mention.
Feel free.
We have Trash Taste and we have Misfits. Those like I love those two. Those are like
Mm.
just listening to basically number one people talk like having like a talk like sometimes about actual serious stuff. Misfits like surprisingly actually talk about serious stuff. Of course, they do bring in their like funny opinions because they're the Misfits. They're funny. They're content creators. That's what their
Mm.
thing is. That's how they make money, being funny.
Yeah. Mm. I do. I've never heard of the Misfits podcast, but like Joe Rogan, I do listen to now and again. And then there's a whole bunch of like
Mm,
lore, like game lore stuff I listen to as well. That's really interesting. There's a few that go through like the
mm,
entire Fallout lore. Super interesting stuff.
definitely.
Hmm.
But to be honest, most like I don't listen a whole lot to podcasts anymore. I don't know why, but
Hmm.
I want to get in more into it. Like just more into it. I'm definitely gonna listen to this more back later. Like our podcast and of course
Hmm.
future podcasts. I do actually enjoy podcasts. They're just it's nice. It's just two people or more, whatever, talking. Like it's just nice listening to someone talk sometimes.
Hmm.
I mostly listen to music. I'm a huge music guy. As I mentioned earlier, I quote unquote dropped out of music school.
Okay.
Um, that was mainly just because it became a little bit too much for me. Not
Hmm.
because I don't like music. It was just you had to be on all the time. It was too much. It was
Hmm.
just basically just at the time for me, it was too much. Maybe now I could have maybe actually survived if I stayed, but then maybe I wouldn't pursue my dream of actually just doing photography, having music either as a hobby.
Hmm. Okay. So, what kind of music? Like, what made you want to get into the music then in the beginning?
Ooh, I mean, I can thank my dad for giving me a good introduction for music taste.
Hmm.
Not introducing me with like today's music like pop. Like I listen to his type of pop from the 70s, from the 80s, from the 90s,
Hmm.
sometimes 2000s. Of course, there are some new stuff, but that I still go into that genre that I like. For example, metal, grunge, rock,
Hmm. The
not
good
pop. I
stuff.
don't go into pop anymore. The good
Metal.
stuff, like the actual, like real music. The metal is, whew, like
Hmm.
I think like the music's like scene today is it's polarized almost. It's monopolized, very monopolized. I'd
Yeah.
almost call it. It's
Very
like big
cookie cutter.
corporations owning one. Yeah, yeah, very cookie cutter and like very like the same. And it's not like music back in the day where it was made to last. It was made with passion. Like
Hmm.
for example, Elvis's music still lives today because well, of course, it is like his original music, like his early, well, not all of his original music, but like his early stuff still lives on today. It will, I bet it'll be immortal. I swear to God, that Elvis and like Michael Jackson, Nirvana, it's gonna be immortal. It's
Hmm.
immortalized on this earth. I swear to God, and our history, like just history of humanity, it's gonna be immortalized. I swear to God. Um,
Hmm.
like music back then was like it was made to last. It was made with passion. It was like it was made to last. Like music today is 1 year and you're done.
Yeah.
They treat these songs as like 1 year and you're done. Of
Well.
course, there are
Hmm.
some artists out there that actually make good music.
Oh yeah.
I would say Lewis Capaldi. Mwah, I love his voice. He actually makes
Hmm.
good music. Like that's I would say the closest thing I listen to pop today. Lewis Capaldi.
I'd say probably the closest thing to pop I listen to is Matt Hefe of yeah, Hefe yeah, metal. I just mainstream metal probably the closest thing I go to pop. I either
Hmm.
electronic music, tech, hardcore, or a lot of metal. A lot of it.
Yes. Yes.
Usually metalcore,
I
roughly
love.
in that field.
Yeah. Like going into electric music. Porter Robinson. Oh my God. Yes. Porter Robinson. That's weirdly like I that was one thing that kind of surprised me a little bit. Like actually when I like with music, I began loving, for example, Porter Robinson and EDM a lot more lately.
Mm.
Weirdly, I weirdly just boom, you begin like EDM now. Me, I listen to black metal. You know what
Oh,
black metal is, right?
yes, I know black metals. I don't mind it.
Yeah, like I listened to literally just it was grotesque. It was like not just it was just very messy and very like I listened to basically like what people call satanic music.
Hmm.
But then I just found Porter Robinson EDM. Hey, now I just actually toned down my music. Not really toned down, but it kind of like expand domain
Ah.
expansion.
So, what
Just
kind?
expanded my mind like music wise.
Hmm. So, what kind of black metal music did you listen to? Like, what was a couple of your favorite artists?
In the black metal. I was like kind of basic. I was like, of course, we have Mayhem, my not hometown heroes, my home country heroes. Mayhem. We have Abbat. We have like it was those like Ronstow's mainly too. But like just I listen to a lot of metal. Like just very like I'm very varied into metal. Well, what the but I'm also very varied into metal as well. But like I would say like Porter Robinson kind of like expanded my just music everything.
Hmm.
I recently got more into like Japanese now. I'm gonna tell the people here, it's a fact. I swear to God, it's a fact. Every person that like has a metalhead back, like listen to like that you see on the street that is a metalhead, either listens to like full has like sometimes listens to like full on anime music, jazz or classical that is not related to metal at all. I
Hmm.
just feel like that's like just
Yeah.
it's like we metalheads just go in weird routes.
Hmm. Very recently, I have found a weird genre myself. Being a metalcore fan, I went into a genre called death step. Recently, that's super weird and
Ooh, that's
interesting. It's like orchestra and dubstep, or metal and dubstep mixed together and had a child that would have been born.
that is
Fantastic stuff.
interesting.
Like Swarm,
Damn.
for example. Great stuff. Ah, come on.
Huh.
Vrchat.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's not anime. It's
Yeah.
not anime intros or stuff, but I, it's good stuff. Electronic music is fantastic. And you are right, though.
Yeah,
Metalheads
like
do some really weird things with their music. Like, most people say, like, oh, I listen to everything, we'll listen to rap. And then maybe Linkin Park is their metal or something like that. But then you go the vice versa. Like, when a metalhead
mm,
says, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, it's metal, deathcore, happy hardcore, anime intros, video game soundtracks.
yeah. Toby Fox. We love Toby Fox.
Oh,
Oh, now I just went when you said video game. Oh, Zelda music. Like, just any Nintendo music. I can listen to it for hours.
Nintendo's fantastic with
Nintendo
its
is best.
music production.
Yeah.
Although so is the Elder Scrolls series too with their soundtrack. Like the Skyrim
That
soundtrack,
is yeah,
as
yeah.
much of the buggy mess as it was as a game, the music as like chill background music, fantastic.
That's one yeah. Like that's one thing that almost surprised me a little bit, but not really. It was like a little bit expected, like how the game industry like and music industry like smashed together and became so amazing. I
Mm,
mean, it was like kind of bound to happen, but like it happened so fast, really. Like compared to like movie and music, that took a long time before like it became like really good.
mm,
That took a long time.
mm,
But with the game, it was like, oh, let's just do like 5 years and we have amazing game music.
mm.
Doom is amazing. For example,
Yes.
like, uh,
With the new Doom that came out, one of the dopest things they did with that soundtrack is the metal choir. Fantastically awesome thing I've ever seen come out of existence. Just when you watch the video of the Doom choir making its music, you just see a bunch of metal vocalists at once. It is a surreal and dope experience. Whoever thought of that idea needs a raise. Get that person a raise now.
yeah, give that person a raise now. Like holy shit.
Hmm. Yeah, so many
Yeah.
cool
Oh
things.
my God.
Did you know,
Art.
actually, also, I believe it's the Emmys added video game soundtracks to the music award list now too.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a thing now. Who knew?
Who knew?
Who
I
knew?
didn't know.
Now you
That,
do.
uh, now the more you know.
That just blasts me back to my childhood, the PBS show days. The more you know.
Yes. Oof. Or
Ah,
SpongeBob. Imagination.
that too.
Ooh.
Oh, I remember back in high school when they would put Bill Nye the Science Guy on whenever they didn't have anything to teach. Yes. The one time
Bill Nye.
science class got
I
cool.
wasn't growing up with that. I'm too young for that. I'm too
Mm.
young for that, but I do love Bill Nye. I do love Bill Nye.
Mm. Bill Nye, I like Bill Nye back in the day, back before things got a little weird and political. The old stuff I enjoy greatly. It's part of my childhood, unfortunately. I'm old as shit. I remember
Hmm.
back in the day when Bill Nye, SpongeBob, and Legends of the Hidden Temple were main on the TV all the time. I feel old. You other millennials who've seen those shows, I probably hit you in the feels. Congrats, you're almost 30 now.
That's the most. That's almost one of the like very polite ways and like interesting ways to just say, yeah, you're old. Cry about it.
Oop, I'm old too. Don't worry.
I do kind of wish I was like born. I think personally, as my personality, think I would fit more as a millennial than I would do Gen Z. I hate Gen
Mm.
Z, to be honest. I am not a Gen Z.
Well,
Like I would say personality wise.
I think you were born when you were needed. It's one of the things I believe in life, and
Yeah.
I believe God places people in and when and where they're determined for whatever reason. And I don't know what that is. I can't tell you. But maybe you are needed. Maybe because you're so different than Gen Z is why you're here. Add a little spice to things.
Hmm.
Maybe you have some greater purpose. Who knows? Life is funny. It slaps you upside the face sometimes when you don't expect it, which is great and fantastic.
Hmm.
It is.
Like I'm not like a person that like for example like loves life and like oh my God sees life and like but I appreciate it. I appreciate like all the small things, all the like
Mm,
ups and downs. Of course, I would almost call it especially the downs. I do kind of appreciate the downs a lot.
mm.
It kind of like teaches me how to like actually like become more human, I would say. Just life is a beautiful thing.
Mm. Sometimes it takes the downs to appreciate the ups. Life's all ups all
Yeah.
the times. It becomes a bunch of downs.
Yeah, then it becomes black and white almost. If everything is ups, then life would be boring.
Mm.
And it wouldn't. It would just be. It was like if everything was up, it would just be a flat line.
Yep.
Oh, I just grayed out.
I do enjoy. I have to agree with you. It's the downs that make life more fun and interesting. Yeah. Does that mean you're gonna have a fantastic
Hmm.
day all the time? No. But but also, if you had a shitty day and you come home and let's say your significant other or your family just does a nice thing for you and flips the day around, it's that drastic contrast to the two. The shitty day at work to coming home to something amazing. It
Hmm.
kind of gives you the contrast to enjoy what you have when you have it.
Yeah, like like as a young person right now, like as a Gen Z, like it's especially hard to like actually grow up in this like growing up as Gen Z is really hard. Some people like just like for example like millennials or boomers don't get why we Gen Z is like how we are. We are the like I would say the most diverse and different. Like we are like the generation that is gonna like kind of like we are the future literally. Like we are like the most
Mm-hmm.
different generation that has ever been kind of like made because of all the technology. Like it's hard to be a Gen Z because of all the information, all the stuff. Like we get told a lot of stuff that like that you wouldn't get like told back in the day. Like we like it's just it's hard being a Gen Z. Like for example, I'm struggling with like just for example, emptiness right now. I'm struggling with emptiness right now. It's weird to say
Mm.
like, oh, this guy, he's talking very passionately. He seems like he's not depressed at all. I'm like, to a lot of Gen Z is like that's one thing that has gone up. Depression. I
Mm.
would like I do kind of consider myself as kind of like kind of depressed person. Like I do struggle with it. I struggle with that. Like I have struggled with like having like actually gaining like maintaining happiness. I struggle with it, but I'm trying to get better, of course. Like talking with people, I'm just trying to get with people. Like for example, like this. This
Mm.
kind of fills my emptiness. It gets me happy. I That's what I want. Like to be honest, anything. Brain work.
Mm.
I need to think before I speak. That's ADHD for you. The thing that basically I like kind of want in life is just social interactions, having like just having a genuine conversation with someone like this.
Mm.
Like this is lovely. I love this.
Mm. Well, one of the things I've learned in life, fun fact, I wasn't always a happy go lucky, goofy furry that I am now. I was very much, when I was younger, I wore dark clothes. I was very emo. I hated everything. That was just me all the time. As I got older, I have learned things get better, and when you grow into who you are, whatever that may be, things get better. May not seem it now because all the stuff going on, but there's always stuff going on. Every person and
Yeah.
generation has to live with whatever's going on, and it may not be fun now, but it's how you get through today that will define you later.
Hmm.
It gets better, I promise you. It gets a lot better. Coming from one metalhead, emo metalhead, to another, it gets a whole lot better and fantastic.
My MCR and 3 days grace are still here. I'm not out of them yet. I'm gonna get out of them soon.
Rip Chester Bennington.
No, but I'm yeah, Rip Chester, Rip Chester, no, Chester, don't remind me. I mean, Rip Kurt Cobain, even just anyone,
Hmm.
any musician, Rip everyone in the 27 Club, for example. Ooh,
Hmm. Well,
but like
yeah.
I'm just I'm just gonna be patient with life. That's the thing I'm thinking of. Just being patient and just enjoy life because since I'm so young, I have lots of time. I'm gonna use it as much as I can.
Hmm. Well, one of the added benefits to your age, you have lots of time in your hands, as you said. Also, because you're young, you can make mistakes and then recover from it. It's not like if I was to make a mistake at 30 or 40, yeah, I can't like, I'm gonna go off and change my life entirely. I don't have time for that. It's done.
Mm.
But you at your age, you have so much time ahead of you. If you want to go move to a different place, do it. If you want to change careers, do it. It adds to the spice of life.
Mm.
So much things you can do. Don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid of the future because it hasn't happened yet. Who knows? It may look doom and gloom with AI and war and stuff, but that's always been around with humankind. We're still here. We're still a plague on society.
Mm.
Humans, anyway. We're going nowhere. There's nothing.
No, that's actually like, yeah, like for example, like me, uh, I'm actually gonna. Can you guess what I originally was like before I like became like with photography and music and everything? Before I like, of course, I had music back then, but what do you think I was gonna be like use as my occupation? Just guess.
I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Yeah.
Something in the sciences, maybe.
Well, not really. I mean, it has something with science to do with. That's because, like, of course, everything has a science to do with science today. But
Hmm.
I was I was originally gonna become a car painter. That was
Okay.
my original like, car painter. I kind of fond of it. But then, of course, going through life, I found out, oh, yeah, I'm not gonna like this. I'm not gonna like this. No, no, no.
Hmm.
Like that does like just change, evolve. That's the good thing as being a young person. Just I'm gonna tell this to because this is here. This is gonna be something in history. Like people probably in 20 years is probably gonna see this. I don't know. Like that's the internet. It's
Mm,
if once you uploaded it, it's stuck. But to all the future people, all the younger people, when this is uploaded, whatever, just do explore, find out what you want. Say, of course, don't say yes to everything, but like say yes to like every opportunity you can get into, both career or hobbies. Like try to find out, just explore life.
mm,
Don't be like a lot of Gen Z today. A lot of Gen Z is sitting down, sitting on their computers. Like, well, I mean, we're technically sitting on our computers and just doing some like I would say
mm,
like not exploring really. Of course, we're exploring both of our minds really,
mm,
but like go out and explore. Like, just try to find out what you want to do with life when you have the time. If you figure like if you just done set, oh, I want to like be a lawyer, for example. Maybe you find out when actually become a lawyer. Oh, I don't like this life. Then it's already too late. Try to explore everything almost.
mm,
I would just try to like find out. It took me a long time to find out what I wanted to do photography. It took me trial and error.
mm.
It took me a long time. I mean, of course, 4 years isn't like not 4 years, 3 years, 2 3 years. It's not a long time compared to like a lot of people. Like for me, it's a very long time since I'm very young.
Mm.
2 years of my life is a good amount of my life.
Well, in the scheme of things, 2 years isn't too much. Most humans live 67 to 80 something years on
Hmm.
average, depending on gender, location you're born, and so on and so forth. 2 years in comparison to 67, not much. There's so much more time. Even now, I
Hmm.
can still technically, and 40-year-olds still have plenty of time to change their careers. Hell, the other co-host of the podcast, Raptor, is 54, and he's going to be going to school to try and drive big rigs. So with that said,
Ooh.
yeah. So you're never too late to try something new. It's one of the beauties
Uh,
of being human, doing things.
hmm.
Indeed. Come on, camera, do the thing.
Yeah, actually, another tip, like, get your like study thingy, whatever. I don't know what's called in English. I only know what it's called in Norwegian. But like, get your thing so you can study whatever you want. That's a good thing. Like, so you can study so you have the opportunity. Get your opportunity to study whatever you want.
Mm,
So, for example, when you are, for example, like 40, whatever, or 50, whatever, like, doesn't matter what your age is. If you find out, oh, this thing, I don't want to work as this, whatever it is, like insert your job, whatever here. I don't want to work as this. Then you can go study whatever you want since you back like when you chose earlier. Oh, I can study. Like I studied this. I have this, so I can study whatever I want. I
mm.
forget what it's called in English. General study competence, whatever.
Well, there's also self-study too, because one of the beauties of having a phone and the internet at the palm of your hand, you can get a hint of whatever lifestyle, whatever information. You have access to everything right here in the palm of your hand. You can look into it.
Hmm.
What's life as a lawyer like? There's so many people out there doing the career thing now where you'll be like in a Subway or a Walmart or a lawyer and they just share their work experience with you. You get a hint of what it is.
Hmm.
If it interests you, then their entire resources to like practice for the lawyer exam, and you can use that as a guide of what do I need to
Hmm.
learn, and then teach yourself from there. It's the internet's a fantastic thing too. It's a resource. Use it as a resource. Quit watching porn.
Yeah. Stop porn. No porn. No porn. Stop touching yourself. Stop rattling your snake.
Don't let us know you're doing that. I don't want to know.
Yeah, yeah. We don't want to know.
Oh, that he died.
Good.
Damn, time flies when you're having
Hey,
fun, don't it?
funnily enough, I have. You know what's funny? I have to wake up in 5 hours.
Oh,
Technically.
well, with that said, thank you very
Oh,
much for joining us. Um, is there anything you'd like to plug?
go follow my Insta, my Twitch, Insta call Meg. You just have it in the description. I'm gonna send you the link.
Mm.
Twitch, KallMeJP VR, and also where's my? I forgot I had a drink. People hydrate. Very important. I look very messed up right now. There. Remember to hydrate. I totally forgot to hydrate during this entire talk.
Whoa. Well, everybody, drink your water. Do it. Do it now. Get off. Get up. Nope. Get out of bed.
I'm not drinking water.
Let go of it. No. Put that back in there. Drink your water.
Or Monster. Or drink your Monster. I'm drinking my Monster right now.
That's not
Person would like to
hydration.
join me. Not right now.
Doesn't dehydrate you. Drink water.
I do have water though. I do have water. I did drink a lot of water before I got here, so I do love water. Oh, I appreciate Norway. Thank you for giving us so much good water, Norway. Yes. I love water. Norwegian water is best.
Well, everybody, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoy and have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, bye.
Bye bye.